Personal story segment tonight, white privilege. A report says the Kennedy School at Harvard, a place that is supposed to train students for public service, is implementing a far-left course. Now, I have a master's degree from the Kennedy School and enjoyed my time up there. The required course is supposed to be about white privilege, and when we checked with the Kennedy School, they now deny the course exists, but there's something going on up there. Now, to some, the words white privilege are code. They really mean white supremacy. With us now, Fox Business anchor Stuart Varney, and from Orlando, Florida, Reverend Jacques DeGraff, also Fox News analyst. So, white privilege, Reverend, what does that mean to you?
Well, white privilege speaks to the benefits that some enjoy based on their race in this society. It doesn't speak to their advantage or their inclination of any individual. So it doesn't say that this individual who's a beneficiary of being white is in and of himself.
So you believe that white privilege is in play? You believe that there is a white privilege component to America?
There has always, yes.
Okay, all right, let me stop you. Okay, now, I'm a really white guy. When I was in Hawaii last week, I couldn't go in the sun. If I was in the sun for 3 minutes, my ears would fall off, all right? Now, I'm from Levittown, as you might know, out on Long Island, and my parents didn't have a lot of money, all right? Do I have white privilege? Am I privileged in any way under this banner?
Yes. Because none of the things that you've indicated speak to the issue of white privilege. White privilege isn't whether your skin pigmentation is strong or weak. It isn't how much money you have in the bank. It is you are the beneficiary of years of whites having an advantage in this country based on.
But I didn't experience that when I worked in Carvel, painted houses, cut lawns.
But others have experienced it. Others experienced it.
All right,
again, it's not a question of whether you're a good person or work hard.
I'm going to have to exempt myself under that white privilege banner. But here's a guy who absolutely is a white privilege poster boy, Stuart Varney. Now, is this all BS to you, white privilege?
No, it's not BS.
No?
Historically, I think that is accurate. White privilege existed in the past. But I don't think that you right historical wrongs by guilting the present. This white privilege idea is divisive. Teach a class in that, and you are dividing that class.
Well, they want
you are
to
dividing America.
These radical students, and that's who was driving. Now, I don't know whether I don't believe the Kennedy School is going to do this, all right, because now we're on it, and it's very bad publicity for them to do it. But the original intent of the course was to check white privilege, to check it, which means to attack it.
That condescends.
No, it means that's not what it means.
I'll get to you, Reverend, but let Varney go ahead.
I think that condescends to the people in the audience, to the people in the class. It takes no account of individual activity, individual response.
All right, Reverend, you say?
But as I understand it, what they were attempting to do and what students have been calling for was in particularly a place like at the Kennedy School, which teaches and deals with people who are going to be setting public policy, is to do a critical analysis of white privilege.
Well,
it's
they
not a
had
social
the word, we
program,
want to check
and it's
it
not intended to make anyone feel guilty. And why would you feel guilty if you haven't done anything wrong?
Well, look, when I went up to the Kennedy School, there was a whole bunch of stuff that you could choose to take. This was supposed to be a mandatory course. Now, I think that would be folly, and I think you do too. You can't have a course based on skin color, white privilege. I mean, that in itself is inherently racist, and they'd be foolish to do it, right?
Well, first of all, my understanding was not going to be a course, but part of orientation.
All right, it's the same thing,
that's
though.
why it would be mandatory.
It's the same thing. You have to sit there and listen to some pinhead tell you about white privilege.
Orientation is not for credit, so that therefore that's an important dimension of it.
Yeah,
but the
you want to be
idea
brainwashed before the semester starts.
All students who are going to be dealing in public policy would get an understanding of what those who have gone before them have experienced, and those who are not have white privilege, how they experience their policies.
The only way I would accept that.
And if you feel guilty about that, that's
I'm not feeling guilty. I just think it's a waste of time and an imposition. The only way I would suggest I would accept that is if I taught the course. Then I would be okay. All right, you have the last word, Varney.
Thanks. As a white privileged guy, here I go. It's the race business. At it again. Always looking to the past, always being divisive, never looking to the present and the future and how we are making progress in America more than virtually any other country in the world. Wait a minute. I have a black grandson.
Wait, Reverend, go ahead.
I got a black grandson. I've got a multiracial family. Am I supposed to teach that young man, great kid, am I supposed to teach him that his granddad exists because of white privilege? and that
or was successful because of it.
Or success because of white privilege. That will be divisive, and I'll not have that kind of division in my family. He's a great kid, and that's what he is. He's a kid.
Reverend, can you do 20 seconds?
I certainly can.
Go.
I think that the question of where we are in America today still keeps coming up with Don Sterling, Cliven Bundy, and others. If we can look ourselves in the mirror, put our guilt aside, and look to the future, we can reach the promise of America.
All right. Very good debate, you guys. I appreciate it very much. Plenty more as the factor moves along.